Okay, so it's been 1 year exactly to this date that I handed in my notice to leave my job and start my own business. Now, so much has happened in this last year. Obviously, leaving aside COVID, riots, and Trump and all that stuff, only talking about my business, so much has happened and there's so much to take away. Have I failed? That's the main question, because a lot of the time when people start businesses, they fail or they don't get up and running, or they just don't continue it. That was the biggest and scariest thing going into it. And I think answering that question about have I failed is complicated, because the whole year has been failure after failure after failure, rejection after rejection after rejection. And I think that's where most of the growth has actually come from making mistakes, from learning from them. And I knew that that's exactly what I needed to do. I had to dive into it and make these mistakes and hopefully grow from it. And don't get me wrong, there's been endless and countless amount of times where I've sat with my head in my hands thinking, this is it. Like, there's no way I can continue this anymore. I've got, one client and they're paying me like £200 or something, and I'm just about to sign another client on, and I'm desperate for money, so I've given them a £60 quote or something, and I'm like, I can't maintain this. Like, I earned less than £1,000 for 4 months. For 4 months, I think only once in that 4 month period between September and December, I earned more than £1,000. Which is insane compared to what I gave up. Like last year in January 2020, I'd just been given a £3,500 pay rise in my job, and I gave that up just a few months later, today last year, to start my own business. But I knew that, you know, the potential is so much more. I'd hear my director talk in my business about in my work about how he's going on like 8 holidays that year, and my CEO is driving like a BMW matte black i8, and I was thinking, you know what? What am I doing here? Like, I can definitely do that. Like, there's no reason I can't do that. I don't want to be having 23 days of leave a year or whatever I was on. Like, definitely like something like 23, 24 days of leave. And on top of that, anxiety that when I get back, there's so much that I need to catch up on, and have my teammates done the work that I'd given them for a handover, and what else on top of the catching up I have to do. What new work is there that I've missed out on? Is there new clients? That is still happening in my business, but the ability to do the freedom and the ability to do what you want when you want is a massive plus now. Like, in a way, there's there's no leave anymore, there's no holidays, but I can choose when to work, how to work, and where to work, which is the holiday in a way. Like, I've got control of my time back, control of my surroundings back, and control of my money back. That is three extremely massive things. So, just I think it was 2 3 days ago now, I maybe 2 days ago, I just hit the milestone of um, crossing 3K a month, and then the same day I crossed 4K a month, and I'm around at 4.6 right now. Like, I since then I got 600 more, and I'm aiming to. I was thinking of breaking 5K next month, but I think I can break 5K before the end of May, which was like, I would never have thought that this time last year. Never ever. Like, um, even if I stayed in my job for 10 more years, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't be on what I'm earning right now. And let's just keep in mind that this is just today, right? Or this month. This is just the present. In a few months' time, in a year from now, 2 years from now, my income level would hopefully be far surpassed what I'm even dreaming of at the moment, what I ever could have dreamt of this time last year. On top of that, same would be my experiences in life, my time. Like, I want to climb Everest one day, and you need something like £30,000 disposable income to do that. I definitely would not have been able to do that at my full-time job, just by saving up something like, £800 here or there. Now it's very, very much a possibility. I've created employment, so I've got a part-time guy on working for me now, and I pay him every single month. And on top of that, I'm hopefully in the near future looking to bring on a full-time member of staff. which would, also be crazy. When I was working in my full-time job as well, I was doing this on the side, trying to like build it up, and then I one day realized I just had to leave and focus in on it. Um, but the types of clients I was getting were for £60 and £200, and I'd lose them. And if you saw the graph of my incomes, it was literally barely anything for the first like 6 months or something. Then I left my job, and it was still barely anything. Now my client retainers are like £1,500 a month. I just signed a client right now, a couple of days ago. Biggest retainer, £1,500 coming in, right? That is something I would never, ever, ever have dreamt of this time last year. That's crazy to me. And hopefully this time next year, I'll be, getting client retainers in for £10,000 a month and stuff like that, which I also can't dream of at the moment. So just as I was last year, I hope to be in that same shock next year, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, so much to take into account. Is it easy? Is it an easy process? I'd say it depends. Like I compare it like to going to the gym. As long as you stay dedicated, you're consistent, and you're putting in the right kind of work, not just going to the gym and lifting. If you want to grow your arms, lifting 2 kgs for the next 5 years, because you're putting in loads of work, but your arms probably aren't going to grow. You need to put the right kind of work in, and you need to be consistent about it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And this old Chinese proverb always rings through my head, which is, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but the one to give up is always the most just before the point of success, or something along those lines. Somebody can correct me on it, but that's always in my head. And people say to me, how do you know if where you are right now is the greatest feeling of giving up? And you don't. That's why you just have to keep going. And you'll always, like, life is not a straight journey up, and it's neither a straight journey down. There are bumps in the road, and you'll never know if that bump is the greatest bump you'll ever feel. And that's something I very much believe in. You'll always have points where, whatever high you're currently on, you'll have a massive low in times to come. And whatever low you're on, you'll also have a massive high in times to come. Unless you die or something. But keeping that to one side, there will always be that kind of stuff in life, and you need to manage your expectations, and you need to control your reactions to stuff. So when I was at a point where I lost loads of my clients, and I was unable to sign anybody, I wasn't signing anyone, I didn't know what to do, I had to just control my reaction to it all. I literally had to think to myself, okay, this is a massive low. I know there'll be a point where I'm a massive high, and that's where I am right now, a massive high. And I also know there'll be a massive low to come. So I'm expecting that, and I'm ready for it. I just had to deal with it when it comes in the most logical way, and not give up. That is the bottom line. Don't give up. So, long story short, it's been a crazy year. I don't know if I mentioned, but I went to court as well for £800 my client owed me, and I never got the money. The guy went to Pakistan, or he was in Pakistan or something like that, and I just spent more and more money trying to get my money, and I ended up getting nothing, and also spending the money. And I won the case legally, and the bailiffs and all the legal advisors were saying, there's literally nothing you can do, to be honest. It's peak times out here. I was like, all right, well, I'll just cut my losses. And that's another learning curve, because I really just wanted to just get my money. I was thinking, I'll just keep on spending the money and get my money. But through all of that, I left my job during coronavirus, and so much had happened where everybody was losing their jobs, and it was a crazy time to be leaving a job after a big pay rise during the height of the pandemic. But I truly believed that I could do better doing stuff for myself. And in summary, the greatest I've taken away from this year is the freedom in terms of time. Now I can go on holidays with my family, with my girlfriend, without having to worry about answering to someone, or asking for leave, or concerned with concerned with how much work there'll be left to come back to, because I can just take my laptop with me if I need to, or manage it however the hell I want to do it. However the hell I want to do it, I can manage it however. So there's that. There's also the possibility of endlessly increasing my income, growing. I've had clients in 3 different continents. I've had it in Australia, Africa, and Europe. Have I had it Asia? No. And I'm hoping to sign a client on in next couple of days. We're just going to work out the quotations and stuff, and hopefully enter the US market as well. So that will be crazy as well. So I've had clients in 3 different continents, and yeah, I guess that's the summary. So I'll make another video, hopefully a bit more professional than this, a bit more, better set up. I'm literally right in front of my wall here with my room. That's my wardrobe. But yeah, it's my first kind of like documenting what's going on, and I'll talk about this next year. So yeah, see you guys later.